Hey, it's Ethan. Here's a clip of another podcast we think you might be interested in.
Hey, I'm Mike.
Hey, I'm Ethan.
I watched the first half of CODA.
I watched the second half of CODA.
And this is the other half.
I'm glad we watched the right CODA, right? Not the 2019 CODA?
There's a 2019
There's a
CODA?
2019 CODA.
What's it about?
With Patrick Stewart, Katie Holmes, and Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's it about?
I don't know. I think it's about a musician or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I just know I
well,
was
this
like,
does have a musician in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, we watched the right CODA, the one that came out this
so
year.
So the difference is the other CODA is not in caps. This CODA is in caps because it's an initial.
See. That's right. What does it stand for?
It stands for Child of Deaf Adults.
That's right. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I did not know that.
Well, I remember this was one of the movies that was on our list of films to watch, and I was like, not only have I never heard of this movie, I don't know what I could get from any of this.
Yeah.
Like the advertising, the name of it. I'm like, I'm purely like,
I have no idea what any of this is.
No fucking
It was
clue.
like this in Belfast were the ones where I was like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Belfast, I know is a location.
Okay.
CODA? What
No.
does CODA mean?
That's true. Not
So,
to us.
Nothing. Well, even if you did know what CODA could stand for so many things, like a
That's
CODA,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It sounds like it probably is a common phrase though in like the deaf community. I
Oh,
probably
definitely.
assume, or something like that. Yeah.
So that was surprising
Mhm.
watching the movie. It's because I was like, movie opens, there's a lady singing on a boat, and I'm like, okay, lady singing on a boat. And then she's like talking to her brother and her dad. And I'm just like, but they're on the boat, so it's really loud. So they're just sort of like doing hand motions. And I'm like, okay, so this is just some lady that works on a boat. And then they're on land and they start like doing sign language at each other. And I'm just like, oh, that's what the movie's about. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, so maybe just like the dad is. And then I realized, no, the brother is too. And then we go home and the mom is too. And I'm like, oh. Okay.
Oh,
So that's what the movie's about.
Interesting. Okay.
And I got to tell you,
Mhm.
that aspect of the movie, very interesting, very cool, really
Mhm.
enjoyed it. This movie, overall, I was so, like, it's so lame. It's such a lame, cringy concept other than this really cool, like, nugget of just like a girl who grew up in a house full of deaf people and has to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
The family element, fuck me up, man.
I know this is the thing that I realized that when I was watching this, like, Mike's gonna hate this shit. This is exactly the type of movie Mike hates.
Yes.
He hates just families vibing out. He hates
The
that.
family vibe, and that was the best part of the movie.
Well, I mean, like family, with goals or whatever, and
Yeah.
aspirations and wanting to do stuff, and and that sort of dynamic.
Yeah.
And troubles with the family internally and
money
things like that.
troubles. I'm so shy, but I'm such a good singer.
Yeah, it did almost feel like a I don't know, like a kissing booth style thing.
Yes.
Or
Like I was shocked. Like even just the way the movie looks,
Mhm.
like it looks
It's-
like a kissing booth kind of movie.
Honestly, yeah. The strength is not from its shots or anything. This is the opposite of Belfast.
Okay. Well, so yes, I was gonna say like. You watch a movie sometimes and you don't know like what to blame sometimes. You're just
Mhm.
like, do I blame the director? Do I blame the writer? Do I blame the editor? Do I blame the actors? Here, the only people, in my opinion, that are really carrying this movie are the main like family cast of characters. I feel like they are fucking killing it. Particularly the girl. Ruby is her name?
Yeah, Ruby, yeah.
Yeah, Ruby. The actor who plays Ruby. And the actor that plays the dad, the actor who plays the mom, all of them, the brother, all of them fucking rock. They are killing it in this movie. The movie, if it wasn't for them, if they had gotten like literally anybody else, the movie would have sucked.
Yeah.
It would have been like a fucking Disney special, after school special.
That's
fucking
the thing.
movie.
It's like so much of the jokes and things if they were made by any other person,
Yeah.
they would be super cringy.
Yes,
But
like
they, for some reason, they all are pretty, like, they land. Even the ones that don't land are just like, they're not cringy or anything. You're just like, oh, okay.
I think it just works because the actors are just legitimately good. Like
Yeah.
The dad is just like such a great naturalism to him.
Mhm.
Like I don't know any of their names. I only know Ruby because they say her name 100 times in the
It
film.
was fine. Dad, brother.
Dad,
Mom.
brother, and mom. So right, dad. He like it's also so cool because like I remember what was it like last year we watched Sound of Metal, which was also a movie about like a guy that like loses his hearing, and like has to like communicate with American Sign Language. But like in this one, because you're just sort of like surrounded by this family unit, you get this really interesting sense of like everyone having a different way of signing. Like the dad has like a very sort of like gross, like big, like very sort of like earthy like way of doing it. Apparently, I looked it up too, and apparently the actor is like an improvisational actor as well. So like there's just like a lot going on when he does stuff. There's a lot like multiple levels of what he's doing, and then like the mom has like a very sort of like rigid sense of like how she's signing, and then the brother like he's sort of got like a short fuse and like kind of like odd
much
tempered,
more quick.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I think that's what was very interesting is you've seen all these dynamics before.
Yes.
You've seen this story
This family
before, like
dynamic.
literally
A
billion times.
Yes.
But because it's delivered in such a way that we never see on cinema ever.
Yeah.
It's fascinating and it's entertaining to watch because of that.
Yeah, genuinely.
Like it's
genuinely.
literally just because of that. Like if you took all that away, this film would be nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And like the caliber of actor here, like it's literally like you took like Shakespearean actors, you dropped in the middle of a fucking like whatever boring like like drama about a family and a little girl that wants to sing. Like it is such a lame script. The script and the direction
it's so cookie cutter.
So
I'm so excited to dig into the script because if you hear this, you hear what we're going to explain to you folks. You guys are going to be like, why is this nominated for an Oscar?
Genuinely!
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was thinking the whole movie. I'm like, well, not
and
the
what are
whole
we going to
movie.
do? Play sound clips? We can't. We can't play any clips of them acting.
No, we can't.
I can't.
You have to just watch it.
Yeah,
like,
I guess the girl's pretty good, so you can play her. But still,
yeah,
it's
she's
just not capture because even then, she is emoting a lot with her face.
Yes.
In ways that I feel like if you're talking to someone and emoting to someone who's hearing, you wouldn't need to exaggerate your face as much. But she does it a lot more, and so does all the other actors to get across their emotions.
Here's some crazy shit about the actor who plays Ruby, by the way. Not American.
Yeah, she's British.
She's British. She didn't know any American Sign Language before starting the movie.
Yeah.
She had to do singing lessons because she couldn't really sing that well.
Really? I thought she was in Broadway plays before.
Oh, was she in Broadway? Well, she could have been like, stage performance.
I mean,
Broadway plays.
I read on her Wikipedia that one of her first things was Shrek the Musical. So.
Oh.
I don't know. That's a pretty great way to learn.
She had to go to singing lessons, and she had to learn how to like work on like a shipping boat.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
I hope she goes far in her career because she's 19 or something like that.
All of them. Yeah. She's incredible. Like the amount of work that she had to do for this at her age, and the fact that it comes across so naturally, like to the point where I had to look it up. Like, did she grow up with like people that like spoke sign language? Like, what is going on? She has such like a naturalism to her.
Yeah. Well, we didn't mention that the other actors are deaf.
Yes. The rest of the family is played by deaf actors.
Yeah. Which actually, the people financing this movie, they hired the first deaf actor, the mom, Marley Matlin, I believe is her name. And they're originally going to be like, okay, we got one, we're done. And they were just going to hire like
a bunch of
hearing
actors,
people.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm going to leave if you do that. And
That's
like,
cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
Fine. So they hired.
Good for her.
Yeah.
They hired
Stick to your guns.
Genuinely, the dad, what a find.
Well, the dad is the nominated one.
Is he really?
He's nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
He deserves it. He's
so good.
He is so, guys, like genuinely, we can't play any clips on this podcast.
I know.
Watch clips of him. He is living in this role. I looked it up. He apparently also like was on Broadway and like he's done a lot of really great work, and like every fucking movement he does just feels so lived in and real. Like anyway, cookie cutter plot is Ruby. She works on a fishing boat, so she's really stinky, and she's bullied at school, and she has a friend who is really horny.
Oh yeah.
Did you recognize her, by the way?
Him?
The friend, the girl.
Oh, I know. I don't think I ever saw her friend.
Oh, really?
I never saw her friend. No.
Okay, she was in Christmas Horror Story.
Wait, who was she in Christmas Horror Story?
She was the part of the rich family that got attacked by the Krampus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture her in my head, and I just don't remember her.
That's fine. So she's really stinky.
No, this wasn't Canadian. Is it Canadian?
It takes place in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. I thought for some reason it was a Canadian production. I don't
maybe
know why.
It like was shot in Canada, or maybe it was like cast in Canada.
I thought that. Okay,
I don't know.
Continue.
Either way, so she's a real awkward girl. She just wants to sing. She sings all by herself when she's on the boat, but nobody listens to her because her family's all deaf. And so then she tries out for choir, not just because she wants to try out for choir, but there's a hot guy that's trying out for choir too. But when you know it, the teacher for the choir teacher, he's a real weird, mean guy, and he's really strict. But then he sees something in her after she runs out of class, too scared to sing. He's like, "You might have something inside of you, girl." And then he wants to teach her how to sing. So
and
that
who plays
the guy from the guy from Batteries Not In No Not Batteries Instructions Not Included.
Which is great because I feel like he's been in so many other things, but I still remember him only from Instructions Not Included.
That's I think the only movie we've seen him.
He's been in so many other things that we've seen, just in like minor roles. I feel like he has.
Oh, I believe you. Either way, I mean, but I don't know. Honestly, like everyone else is doing a pretty good job. Like obviously not as good as the family.
Yeah.
He is just doing an act like the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like he is just being insane and crazy. Yeah, and he's just a little bit different, but he wants to teach her how to.
He's just one of those teachers from Berkeley.
That's right, and he wants her to go to Berkeley too.
Yeah, because that's where you got to go. You got to spend that big money.
Because everyone wants to sing there, so he's going to teach her how to sing, and then he has her and the boy that she really likes sing a duet together, and they're really awkward. And they go to her house, and then they hear her parents having sex, and it's super awkward. And then he runs out, and then he tells his friend about it.
He does? Wait, okay, I guess they're just being like really loud. They don't know that she's there?
Because they don't know that anyone's home yet.
I guess that's true.
So they're banging really loud. And and so then...
as well.
And right?
It's their house.
It's their house. It's their rules. She is right next door to them too. So I'm like, dear God, like you gotta turn like the
stereo on or something.
That's another thing is like she likes to listen to music like in earphones and stuff, and her family's like, don't do that when you're at the dinner table. It's rude because we can't join along with you. But then the brother's on Tinder. She's like, why does he get to be on Tinder at the dinner table? And they're like, because we can join in with that. We can't join you with music. And it's just like, oh. And then she tells her mom, like, hey, I'm trying out for choir. And the mom's like, why? Because you don't like us? Because we're deaf? And if we were blind, would you get into painting? She's like, Mom, you don't understand.
You don't understand what it's like. I have a talent. I have a gift. You're just trying to hold me back. I don't want to be in this family smelling like fish all the time.
Yeah.
I have bigger dreams.
Also, the dad really likes rap music because he gets to feel the bass on his like butt when he's in the car.
Oh, that's actually really cute.
It's very cute. I like the dad.
Dad's fantastic.
Dad is great. And then it's also revealed that that fishing, them fishing for the fish and stuff, they're being taken advantage of, as well as a bunch of other fisher people. And so they rally together, all the fisher people, and they're like, we're going to sell our own fish rather than selling it to other people to sell for us. We're going to sell it ourselves.
They start a co-op, right?
Start a co-op with a bunch of the other fisher people.
Like that message. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. And then that's basically the end of my half.
That's the end of your half. Okay.
Yeah. It's very cookie cutter.
It's very cookie cutter.
There's one part that I really liked, and I was so close to like cringing, and then it immediately saved it, where she's standing in front of her teacher, and her teacher's like, what is it like to sing for you? And I'm like, she's going to be like, oh, it's like when magic comes out of me. It's like I'm able to produce magic. It's like I'm able to take angels' wings and produce them out of my lungs.
Wow, you sound like you've watched a lot of these types of movies.
Oh yeah,
and enjoyed them. And I feel like this is funny because in an alternate world, this is almost like Bratz.
It is
in a weird way.
It really is. It could have been.
Remember how there was a deaf guy in Bratz?
Oh my God, you're so right. I forgot about that.
Definitely a real deaf actor too.
Definitely.
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I was fucking like raring for her to like say some cringy shit, but no, she signs. It's like she instead of like saying it, she like shows it with like her hands and her body, and she expresses this just visually using something that, because here's the other thing is something I wanted to also mention is like she's bullied. Not just because, she smells like fish because she works on a fisher boat, but because when she started school, she spoke like a deaf person because her family was all deaf. So everyone made fun of her.
Wow, they remember that for
it.
so long? Wait, when was she like homeschooled or something?
No, when she first started going to school.
Like in kindergarten?
Yeah, like kindergarten, first grade and stuff.
Dang, and they remember that? That's messed up.
They always remember.
Oh no, yeah, I guess
people
you're right.
will always remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they, so that's sort of also why she's like really shy and nervous about her voice, is because she used to be bullied about her voice back when she first started school.
Huh.
But it's kind of cool where it's like that basically like speaking English is like her second language. Essentially.
Yeah, it's
first
true.
language is sign language,
which I think is very interesting, and it's still American Sign Language, but it is completely a different language. Like, legitimately, and it's like
neither of us can speak
You're completely bilingual at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just a different type of bilingual that I think it's a smaller community and say like, oh, I know Spanish. It's like, cool, you can go to a whole country where there's multiple countries where people speak that instead of like American Sign Language. I'm gonna sound really dumb. Do you know if American Sign Language is like the standard for
I don't know
everywhere?
I do know that there's other forms of sign language.
Right. There has to be, right?
There are.
Okay.
I don't know if it's probably like the standard, similar to like English is the standard in certain countries.
Right. Like it's, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah.
Interesting.
But so that's basically the plot. It's super fucking cheesy. I mean, I know what's going to happen. She gets taught by her fucking teacher. She ends up going to the school. She falls in love with the boy, putting all of this stuff beside her. She ends up getting the scholarship. She has to go to college.
Dude, did you write the script? That's the thing, is I was waiting for this to like
turn,
subvert. But I kind of, in the end, I was like, that's okay if it doesn't.
Yeah.
In the end, I was just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Although like, I don't know, it worked which is weird. It shouldn't work. We should be like being like, man, look at this fucking Oscar trash or whatever. But like, maybe the subversion is that it's so
normal.
Predictable. Yeah, normal.
So cookie cutter. Yeah.
That like it kind of makes it. I don't know. I don't know. There's some genuinely touching moments in the movie too. So what do we got here?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. So he comes and apologizes to her. What's his name again? I forget his name.
Who? The teacher?
Guy,
or the guy? I don't know the guy. The cute boy?
Miles. Miles is his name. Cute boy is his name. Is that what you call him?
Yeah, it's because that's what he is, right? He's the cute boy in the movie.
Cute boy talks to Ruby.
To Ruby. Basically, Ruby's the only actual person, and everyone else is just teacher, cute boy, friend, dad, mom, brother.
It's funny we talk about how memorable these characters are. Don't know a single one of their names.
I don't know their names. But I'll pick them out in the lineup. I'll be like, I know who that is.
Yeah. That's the thing, is they just play the part so well. You're just like, well, you're just a great dad.
You're just a good dad.
You're just a great dad. Who cares about your name? You're just great dad. You're great dad. You're cute boy.
Yeah, that's right.
But only Ruby is Ruby.
Ruby is Ruby.
Yeah, also because they say her name a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They say her name a lot.
But yeah, so he's like, look, I'm sorry I was laughing. Actually, I'm really jealous of your guys' situation. You have a family that loves each other a lot. She's like, it sucks, dude. Sucks. You know any idea what it's like to be the only one who could hear people laughing at your family? Like, they don't know it. I'm the only one who hears that.
Yeah. He tells a story where, like, when they were kids, he remembered that he went to a restaurant and she went to the restaurant with her family and she ordered everything for her family. And she, like, ordered beer for her mom and her dad. And he was like, the cute boy's telling her about this. And he's like, yeah, my parents are, like, super like overprotective. They would never let me like talk in public, even like they would never let me out of the house. And so he sees Ruby as sort of like this sort of like freedom and like courageousness, you know. It's always stuck with him.
And like much more independence.
Yeah.
And much more responsibility and like a lot of trust, and she doesn't want that responsibility.
It's a lot that's been put on her.
It's very interesting seeing the juxtaposition. I think that's one of the only like kind of clever things that is like different in this movie, I guess. Is having like the two different characters having like completely different lives.
It's never been done in a movie before.
I said kinda.
I see what
compared to the rest of this movie.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the most crazy thing plot wise.
Fair.
Yeah. So they get the whole like a media to come aboard and be like, hey, we're promoting this co-op. We're letting everyone know like you should come buy from us. But she's like, no, I gotta go practice with Mr. V. And I'm like, I don't know who Mr. V is. And so she's like texting while she should be translating for the interview. So like they're doing an interview and it's just like the anchor's like, what'd they say? And she's like, I was looking down my phone.
No.
I was like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
But she goes to Mr. V's house and he's not there. She goes back to the classroom. He's there and he's like, you wouldn't last 2 days in Berkeley. You. and then she retorts though, not like that school did you any good.
To be fair, he's not a good singer, so
he's like, listen, I'm good at teaching. I like it. It's what I like to do. But you know what? I didn't need a lesson from someone who's too afraid to even try.
Boom.
Is what he says to her.
Man, I've never heard that before.
I know. And I'm like, wait a second. But she like ran as quick as she could to his house.
Yeah.
She also texted you, I'm going to be late.
She's been late 3 times already. But the thing is, it's like, you know why she's late? It's because she's look at all the other shit she has to do in her life.
Yeah, she really should just explain
She has to work on a fucking shipping boat.
Yeah.
Wake up at 3 a.m. to do that shit and then go to school.
I kind of like that though, because like the academic side academics doesn't care about that, right?
That's
like
fair,
they do not care about working class families, especially kids who are legitimately in like family companies. And they have to bear a lot of the load, especially when a lot of the family can't hear, so they have a specific type of load that they have to bear.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of like, I feel like it's a lot of this is coming to a lot of people who just feel like outsiders to communities, right? Like a lot of immigrants have this sort of same thing where it's
and the guy that plays the teacher, like he even says like I think he says like I'm from Mexico City or something. Like like I also like I had to emigrate to there.
Yeah, like you could probably relate to the fact that like probably worked in his parents' shop or whatever. A lot of people I know like worked in their like family business. Because their family immigrated over. Like it's a very similar thing, and they did the translating and things like that. Like it's just something that's a very palatable thing. And it's just like it happens to other communities too, not just
I just feel like the movie isn't actually digging into any
it's not.
That.
It's not, but it's there.
It's there.
And it doesn't shy away from it.
But it's also not going towards it either.
But that's what I kind of like. I don't know. It's just there. It's there, and you could easily see it.
Right.
They're not hiding it.
Right. I mean, the working class family thing, but I also wonder how much of this is also like talking about. I think translating is a good point. Like, I'm sure immigrating to America, you have to learn a different language. Mm-hmm. Maybe he had to do that for his family. I don't know.
I think the tone of this movie just doesn't want to do that, though.
No, it's fair.
Like, it's there. I just don't think it would fit to be like, look how like they clearly are saying that like Ruby's life is very hard because she has to shoulder all this responsibility for her family.
Yeah.
It's clearly a thing, so I think they are going into it.
I would also say though too, like I don't know if necessarily she's shouldering it necessarily because they're deaf. I think she's also shouldering it because they're poor.
I mean that too. Yeah.
Like she has to work on the boat because they have to make the money to keep the house.
Yeah,
even if they weren't deaf, she would have to do that anyway.
Well, no, because they don't need her to work on it. Then she's the one who's doing all the translating and.
Well, no, she's not translating on the boat.
I'll get to it. There's a reason she's
not
there.
Earlier in the movie is what I'm saying. And earlier in the movie, she's just working on the boat. There's nobody else in the boat. It's just the three of them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
you wait.
I know later on probably, but what I'm saying earlier on is like, anyway.
There's a reason. Well, there's probably a reason she's there in the first place.
Okay.
And yeah. So anyway, one of the reasons is she doesn't show up to work. Because oh no, first sorry, I forgot about this conflict.
Oh yeah, with the teacher.
No, after the teacher, she's like, I want to go to college in Boston to my dad, and her dad's like, this city's full of assholes. She's like, I've been interpreting my whole life, I'm exhausted. And the mom and dad have a moment, and they're like, look, like mom doesn't want her to go because like maybe she sucks. Like who knows? We don't know if she's good or not.
Right.
Like
oh man, that's a good point.
Yeah, they're like,
I didn't think about that.
So people say she's good. Like I don't know. Have you heard her? It's like no. It's like fuck out of here. And also I like this moment of like her just screaming out loud, like in her room next door. Doesn't matter.
Nobody
right?
hears you.
No one can hear it.
Yeah.
And honestly, surprised she just doesn't talk to herself all the time when she's at home.
Yeah.
Let's
talk out loud.
Yeah. Anyway, so dad and son just go on the boat alone with the sea monitor, like a person who's supposed to like inspect them. To,
That's
like,
a new
make sure
thing.
They're going. Yeah. But they go alone because she didn't show up.
Right.
And they didn't know where she was. So what happens is they're like, first off, they didn't tell the sea monitor that they're deaf until like way later. And then after a while, like the Coast Guard, or no, she like calls the Coast Guard and it's like, hey, like, just so you know, like these people are deaf. And so they call because they have like the engine's running super loud. And she's like, when's the last time you got that inspected?
Oh,
they
would know.
They would know. They would know it was super loud. And so the Coast Guard comes up and they're like, have the sirens going and like the radio is like going off and all this stuff. They don't hear it. The Coast Guard literally bumps into the boat is when they finally hear it.
Oh.
And so they all get, taken away. They lose their license and everything.
Shit.
They get suspended. So that's why they need a hearing person on the boat.
Right. In that case is what I'm saying. Yeah.
What do you mean that case?
That's not what it's like earlier on in the movie.
When like an emergency happens?
I mean, like, I don't think they weren't like, what I'm saying is like, I don't think they ever considered like, we're going to put her on there, like, just in case an emergency occurs. I mean, they just had her on there as like another pair of hands.
Well, who answers all the radio calls and things like that?
I never got one.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I still feel like that was originally what they were there and why they were upset that she wasn't there.
Yeah, probably. So, I thought it was just like you gotta
just gotta have another hand,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
No. So
man, I was so sure that dad was gonna die there or something.
No, this is not that kind of movie.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, could have been. But I'm kind of glad it's not. Honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I'm kind of glad it's not. I wouldn't like the dad dying.
I don't want the dad to die. No. Sad. Yeah. If there was a character you wanted to die, who would it be?
Miles could die, I guess.
Yeah, Miles sucks.
He's fine. I didn't actually hate him that much, but he's just not as cool as everyone else.
That's true.
Actually, no. The monitor, the sea monitor could have died. She's just whatever.
Oh, okay, there you go.
She's just kind of like shocked at everything. Actually, narcs on him basically. So.
Well, she's a narc.
Yeah, she's literally a narc.
That's what she is. So yeah.
Anyway, while this is happening, Ruby and Miles are going for a swim in like a secret spot, and this is like the.
So how do they patch things up?
Huh?
How did they patch things up together? Like, I thought they hated each other. Or she hated him.
Oh, she eventually forgave him and was like, hey, why don't you come to this thing? And she's like, okay.
All right.
And she takes him to like go jump off in this river and they dive and then
they die?
They dive into the water and whatever and it's all cute. And then they get on a log and they schmooch. It's like, whoa. And that was like the scenes between them two, I just not give a shit. I was just like
yeah, I agree.
We could have sped this up or cut it down. The only reason it was semi-interesting is because it was juxtaposition against like her dad and brother getting owned by the Coast Guard. Yeah. But anyway, she comes back and signs that they've suspended their fishing license, and they all blame her because she didn't show up for work. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "It's not my fault. You guys went out regardless." She's like, "We need to make money. We have to make money, or else we can't do anything."
Yeah.
So like you said, yeah, it's also they need money.
Yeah.
Because they're poor.
Yeah.
And, what are you going to do? You're going to kind of side go around the law.
Yeah.
So it's $1,000 and $2,500 fine. And he's like, basically like, we got to sell the boat. Like, it's the only way we can pay for it. It's like, no, I will work. Ruby's like, I'll just give it up. I'll work. And honestly, I thought it was because like the boy's here and she likes the boy. But I realized like he's trying to leave too. He's trying to go to Berkeley or whatever.
Yeah. He's being taught by the teacher.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
And the brother's like just so upset at this decision. So upset that she's decided to stay. She doesn't understand why. And then Mom and Ruby have a heart-to-heart. And Ruby's mom admits that like she wishes that she was born deaf at one point. Because Ruby asked.
Powerful.
Like, I know. She's like, well, why'd you want that? She didn't seem like offended. She was just like, well, I was worried that like we wouldn't be able to connect the same way. Like I did with my mom. Like I couldn't connect with her because, I was born deaf.
Right.
And it was like a really heartfelt moment. And it was really good. And I'm doing a poor job explaining it. So then we go to Ruby. Ruby goes to her brother who's still upset.
Yeah.
And is like, this is really upsetting because you can really sing and you're being stuck here. And our family was fine before you got here. And was just very upset with just the whole situation.
She's the youngest, isn't she?
She is the youngest. Yeah. He's the older brother. And he's, he's going to work here, right? He doesn't really have any other aspirations. I think he's jealous of that, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
He seems like he's got a lot. I feel like he's a very complicated character they don't spend enough time on. Like
I
his
agree
emotions.
With you.
Like they're more concentrated on the mom and
dad.
The
actor just has a face where you're just like looking in his eyes and you're just like, there's something going on.
Like this confrontation felt really good because like he was just so angry.
Yeah.
But
he was angry more, and you could tell he was more angry at like the situation rather than at her, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also a little mad at her too.
Oh, sure.
But just a smidge. And that came through in his acting.
Ah, man. This family, man.
I know, this family's so good.
Yeah.
So then they go to choir, or they have a performance, and Ruby starts off singing, and I love this scene because it's basically just like the family sitting there being bored as fuck at this concert of all singing.
Right.
And everyone's hype and standing around clapping, and they're just like, okay. And they're just signing like, what are we going to get for dinner?
Right,
And I guess does the brother have a lady friend?
Yeah, it's her friend. It's Ruby's friend.
Oh, that's Ruby's friend?
That's Ruby's friend.
I thought it was her brother's girlfriend.
It is.
Huh.
Same person.
Okay.
Ruby's friend had a massive crush on Ruby's brother, and so then they started dating each other.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go. So she's there. She's like, wow, she's really good, and like letting all the family know, and they're like, oh, okay. And then Miles and Ruby do their duet together, and like they're doing a pretty good job, and then the audio just cuts. And this is a smart move because the audio cuts and just focuses on the dad. The dad's just like looking around at everyone and just seeing the.
I thought you meant like the microphone cut on the.
Oh no. Okay. The audio and the whole movie stopped.
Okay, got it.
And
we're seeing it from the dad's point of view,
basically, and he's just looking around at everyone and just seeing the reactions and understanding that way,
right?
Because it's the only way he knows how, right? By sight and reading people's faces,
right? And he sees how like
he sees like a lot of people are being moved. A couple people are crying. Like everyone's bopping with it. And so he's, some people are crying. It's good stuff. Mm-hmm. So then Mr. V comes out, meets the parents, and signs to them, "Nice to fuck you." He does it wrong.
Oh.
And the dad's just like, "Nice to screw you too." But he then is like, "Hey, your family's making a real big mistake not pushing you to go try out at this audition."
Right.
It's just like, "I'm not going to sign that." He just keeps it silent. He's like, "Oh, okay." So then they come home after the concert, and everyone kind of like goes back, but her dad calls over to the back of a truck bed, and he's like, "What were you singing about? What was the song about?" And it was just like, she's like, "Oh, is this a song about like needing another person?" And he's like, "Why don't you sing it?" And she starts to sing it, and he's like, "Please sing louder." And he puts his hands like around her neck. And this part fucking killed me, man.
Chokes her out.
Yeah, chokes her out, and she dies. No, he puts around her neck to hear her singing, to hear her voice, which makes that note you said about rap music feeling it in his bum.
Yeah.
So he can feel it that way.
And he puts his butt on her neck so that he can feel
it's the only way. It's the only way he can listen. Daughter, I'm sorry.
I gotta hear you sing.
I want to hear you sing. I want to see if you're good enough. Gotta put daddy's bum on your neck. Sorry. This is the way it's gotta be.
You opened this going like, "This got me, man. This fucking hit me real hard."
This shit, we were fucking butchering this emotional moment, which is great. I love it. This is what our podcast is about.
That's right.
But no, it's seriously like amazing, and just seeing, like, you literally just see mostly his facial expressions most of the time, and you could just feel it, man. It's so good.
Fuck. The ending of the movie sounds so much better than the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I honestly couldn't even imagine what the first half was like. It sounded just like a Disney movie.
It really was. It was like, what the fuck is this shit? Anyway, yeah. So I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's see. The next day, of course, the family wakes up and like, "You know what? We're going to the recital. You have to, you have to try." And she turns up half hour late, and they're like, "Okay," and they won't let the family in, so they sneak upstairs to watch anyway. And Miles turns up and is like, "Hey," and she's like, "How'd yours go?" And he's like, "I choked."
Oh.
It's just like, oh shit. So she's like, "This is some real stuff." She's not dressed all nice. She gets up there. She doesn't have the sheet music. And they're like, "Oh, guess you're going to have to sing a cappella." And
acapella.
You got to sing Acapulco.
I don't know that song. No Kokomo.
So, but then Mr. V shows up. He's late. He comes in clutch. And he's like, "Okay, don't worry. I know the song. We'll play it." And they're like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Don't worry. I graduated from Berkeley. It's cool. I'm alumni."
Yeah.
Class 99? Yeah, anyway. So he starts playing the music. And they start writing notes immediately. And he does this thing where he messes the music up intentionally. And just to kind of like get their attention, also to get her attention, because she realized that her parents are upstairs. And so what she does is, incorporating while singing, she also signs so instead of like concentrating and being nervous on the judges,
she's able to talk to them.
She looks to her family and signs the whole song while singing it to the family. And
the dad's like, "I wish I had my butt on her right now."
And then it cuts to her, the rest of the movie, which is basically her waiting on if she gets in. Of course she gets in.
What a surprise.
I know, what a surprise. She teases Miles. Miles is like, "Yeah, I guess I'll come visit you." And then she leaves her college, and her dad says out loud, does not sign it, finally says like, just go. And she leaves and waves goodbye. And that's the end of the movie. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the end of the movie, and you predicted every single one of it.
I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes we call movies predictable. This one was very
predictable.
Fucking paint by numbers, like shit here. Connect the dots.
Which is wild to me how much I enjoyed this movie.
It's because of the family. The family unit is killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so unbelievably charming.
Yeah. This is just the best example of like what can really good actors bring to a weak like script and a weak director.
Yeah.
This. Like, if it wasn't for these actors,
I don't even think I don't know if the dialogue is really weak as much as just the plot, which is so strange, because the plot is just so I mean, maybe that's fine. Maybe we don't need twists in our movies. Maybe we don't need to be constantly.
Maybe we don't need to be surprised.
Maybe we don't need to be surprised. Maybe we just need to sometimes vibe out. Like,
I
don't know. it's almost feels like it could have been another like dad situation.
It's what it feels like.
Yeah, it could have been that.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Did you like this movie? You sound like you're kind of on the edge.
I am on the edge. Okay. I liked the family. I liked them. I liked any moment we had with them, but every other bit of it, I didn't like.
You're with the family like almost all the time, though.
Not in my half of the movie. My half of the movie is like half and half.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess the family becomes more of a focal point in my.
Yeah, I like.
I guess you're right. I did see those scenes where she was with Miles, and I was like, I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah. And like when she's with the teacher, just the teacher, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about that shit. I don't care about her friend. Like, I barely care.
I care about the family's fishing company, though. Let me tell you, I don't know about that co-op. I hope they don't get shut down.
Did they at the end of the movie? Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they never mention it.
That's the thing. It's like you can pay by the numbers, but like I want a bit more like depth here. I want you to dive a little deeper. I want to see some more about what's going on with the brother. Where's you have since everything is like so obvious. Like let's dig a little deeper here. But
I'll agree with that. I feel like I think you're right.
I think the movie can allow that because it's like where this is going. I know where this was going.
Yeah.
So let's rather than subvert. Let's dig a little deeper.
Dig a little deeper. Yeah, that's fair.
And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that they've hired these like incredible actors. Like
it makes you want more.
It does. Like I want more of them. I want a whole fucking show with these 4 people.
That'd be a good show.
Yeah, I'd love that shit. And I don't know, like I cannot sing their praises. Like that's the thing. It's like I want to recommend this movie just for them. Like that's the thing, right?
I mean, they're the star of the movie. You can do that, Mike.
I will. But I don't. But you'll turn the movie on.
Well, here's
guys.
the thing, Mike.
Yeah,
we've already explained the plot.
Yes,
they know what they're getting into.
They knew what they were getting into, even if they didn't tell the
exactly.
plot. Yeah.
You know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
But the movie, I think, transcends the cookie cutter plot.
Yeah.
And because it's a little special thing, just because it's just something you don't see generally on TV, and even sometimes you don't see a script this wholesome acted. So, or like wholesome and like safe, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Acted this earnestly?
Acted this earnestly, exactly. Yeah. And skillfully. A lot of times it's like,
that's true.
Like you said, a lot of times it could be cheesy. Could have gotten there very close to it multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't. And you never get to see that, really. You never get to see like, this is like, what if Lifetime movie good?
Yeah, that's true.
What if Lifetime movie really good?
What rather than casting comedy actors in a Lifetime movie, what if we cast like Meryl Streep, and like and Daniel Day-Lewis in this Lifetime movie and see what they do with it?
Yeah, let's see what some pros can bring to it.
But even then, I just feel like the direction is so fucking boring too.
You're right. Like, I will say it's not. There are some moments that are smart, but for the most part, especially coming off Belfast. It's just like, oh, okay.
I'm just glad. Like you're right. I guess that's fair, right? Like. The director, as far as like the composition of shots or like the cinematographer, like lighting the shots, very boring,
very like competent,
fine.
Middle of the road. Like I would see this on a NBC show.
It's fine, right?
Yeah.
But like the director does know when to just hold on certain things and just let things play out, and that I appreciate.
That's true.
I do appreciate things like that.
The editing, the pacing is good.
It's fine, yeah. But just watch it for the fucking actors, man. Like it's on Apple TV if you have it. Watch the after party first, and then watch the
after party. A completely different thing. Watch a whole TV show.
Watch a good TV show first, and then you could watch this movie. I mean, we watched this at Finch, and I'd recommend this one over it, I guess.
Yeah, Finch. Yeah, I forgot. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. The Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, I guess as far as the Apple Plus, well, I don't know. What was it? Boys Nation's also pretty good.
Oh yeah, Boys Nation.
Was it Boys Nation?
Yeah, I think it was.
Boys Nation.
Boys State.
Boys State. That's it. Yeah,
Boys State fucking rocked.
Boys State was good.
Yeah, that was good. CODA's good. CODA's good.
It's good. You know what?
It's very competent.
I might say it's my favorite movie so far we watched.
Wow, even more than Dune? Or are you just
I'm talking about movies for the podcast.
I see. Okay.
No, I don't think it's better than Dune.
Okay, so yeah, we're putting CODA above Belfast, above Don't Look Up.
I think so, yeah. Although I'm starting to move Don't Look Up slightly above Belfast.
Whoa! Belfast goes even lower.
I'm just thinking about how much I forgot about Belfast as soon as I stopped watching it.
That is a fair point.
And that is not a good sign.
It's not a good sign of a movie.
Like, at least Don't Look Up, I remember, even if it's not the best memories all the way through.
I wonder, I'm going to do the plugs. Can you tell me who the other the supporting actors are, other than the guy, the dad from this movie? Because I wonder, anyway. So, guys, Did you guys like CODA? Did you guys like our review? Please email us at email@theotherpodcast.com. Let us know. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Instagram, I'll be posting a bunch of my own interpretations, posters of these movies.
Good shit. Follow us.
Thank you. You can also find our previous episodes, Belfast and Don't Look Up, on any podcatching app. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read it on the show no matter what it says, even if the review is very cookie cutter.
So here's the thing, Mike. I just realized we have a new review, and I couldn't find it couldn't read the whole thing because I don't have iTunes installed. And I realized none of us really have iTunes installed. We actually have a review for the show, Mike.
Oh yeah, tell me
definitely didn't remember halfway through and had to look it up. This one is from Mormon Mike 63.
Mormon Mike 63.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It says Venom, Venom, Venom. I apologize, Venom Mike. We're coming at this more than half a year from the time you posted it because reasons. The review goes on to say, one day I couldn't find my keys. Then I turned on this podcast, and shortly after I found my keys. Who knows what else this podcast can help me find? The approval and love I've always craved from my father? True love? The meaning of life? That's it.
Doesn't even answer any of those questions.
Nope.
Well, thanks, Mormon Mike 69.
63.
63.
Come on now.
Apologies. I apologize,
Mormon
Mike.
Not Nasty Boy Mike.
Well, thank you, Mormon Mike. I really appreciate that.
Up against our man Troy Kotzer.
Yeah.
Katsu.
He's the underdog, and I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, we got Kieran Hines from Belfast.
Okay. He's the grandpa.
Uh-huh. We got Jesse Plemons from The Power of the Dog.
Ooh, still gotta watch that one. I love me some Jesse Plemons.
It's on our list here.
Yeah.
Cody Smith McPhee, also from Power of the Dog.
Oh yeah.
And J.K. Simmons from Being the Ricardos.
Well, I know who I'm rooting for currently. We'll see what happens after Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog, but
that'd be fucking rad if he wins.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, they should. They should do that.
They should.
They should. Will they? No.
Good night, everybody.